Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Uther, and we're going to talk about 90 days with the Surface Duo and how rocky this relationship has been over the past month. The first 60 days, the worst thing that happened with the device is obviously it took me a couple days to really get used to it. If you looked at any of my previous videos, you know that the main thing was just getting used to the different aspect ratio, the device, the flipping, understanding, going back and forth, the best way to carry it around, which in my opinion is to keep it like this, cover it in some type of screen protectant all over it. As the day goes on, take it like this, put it in your pocket. Be careful, don't be like me with your jeans, all right, and getting blue all over it. Also, it is very fragile, okay? This is another thing that I have a big mark against it because realistically, one of the main things was when I first saw this phone announced, and being a big fan of the Surface line as a person that sells them for a living and a big advocate of giving them to most consumers, I was hoping this would have that magnesium or aluminum body. And especially considering it did not have wireless charging, but no, they gave us a porcelain and glass design without wireless charging, without NFC. I'm not sure what their planning was there, but obviously I've covered that in a couple videos where I feel like they put it out too early. They promised, they overpromised, underdelivered in certain scenarios, yet at the same time, they weren't late to the party or too early, I should say, with the outlook of dual screens. A lot of people were thinking it's not time, they need to work on them some more. I think the rest of the companies just have them wrong. Microsoft was the first company to do it right. And if you've been paying attention lately, you'll notice that a couple other companies might be going the same route because realistically, this is the way to do dual screen. Okay? If you look at the Z Fold, check out Scary If Literal's video on that. He's got some great reviews and comparisons between them, but obviously we're going to talk about my opinion here in this video. And the main thing here is that I feel like dual screening is more important than having something that has a screen on the front and then opening up to have a bigger screen. All right, especially for the price difference. Better off for the $800 difference between an S21 and the Z Fold, or $600, whatever it is. You literally could actually have a tablet, which does the job much better, and you don't have that crease in the middle. Realistically, the crease in the middle is more annoying than not being able to do the dual screen, in my opinion. All right. Obviously, other things people have complained about, which again is just a bunch of hoopla in my opinion, is the performance, because they look at the specs, right? They look at the specs list instead of the actual performance of the device, and they're like, well, this processor is better, so it has to be much better. It's newer, so it must be better, and that's not necessarily the case. Intel obviously has given us that mentality, and we're also getting that type of performance increases. You're talking 45% per generation, sometimes more, but rarely, especially considering Android at its base level is pretty mature. We're not seeing huge advancements on it over the last couple updates, and we're still sitting on Android 10 on this anyways. But the big issue I'm having right now is over the last 30 days. Now, there was a February update. Check out Scary If Literal's video on that, or check out his Twitter, Scary If Literal Shane on Twitter. He actually brought this up, and I agree a lot, and that is that since the February update, it's been downhill. I personally, sometimes, it's not doing it right now, but sometimes I'll go to open it up and it's all black screen. It's most common if I have it in the orientation I use it in, which is where the phone's actually always like this, especially when I'm at work. Pros and cons, obviously, to that, but what'll happen sometimes when I go to unlock it, it won't go to this point, or if I go to use my thumb, it will just stay black. It'll say it's unlocked, but it'll stay black. Other things I've noticed is that apps will skip, jump, not move, and at the same time, some of the gestures are going back to have to be super liberal. Like you're gonna have to, or literal, I say. Sometimes when you move stuff around, it doesn't move the way it's supposed to. This is a $1,500 device, cheaper if it's on sale, but it's also bleeding edge. And I've said this many times, there's going to be issues, and that's something people have to deal with, and people have to understand when they buy this device. This is not a consumer device. This is a prosumer device. But you should not be regressing the performance. You should not be regressing in the software. And considering that you're going to be coming out with a Z in a couple months, you should not be regressing in anything. It should be constantly moving forward, getting better, and you should have already had Android 11 out. We're talking 4 months and you only have one device. No, 6 months? 6 months now it's been out, and they still have not put out Android 11. Obviously, you got to look at it this way. I know Android 11 didn't come out 6 months ago, but it wasn't that long after that. And these companies get a hold of the versions of Android months and months before they come out. If you look at it this way, the developer version of 12 is already available, right? There's already people updating to it on their Pixels. So, I mean, you're talking months ahead. I mean, Google I/O is not until May. And then launches aren't until September, October. So excuses are just as important. I say this to people all the time. Excuses are like wet toilet paper. They're both useless, all right? So fix it. If you're going to make it glass again, we really, really need wireless charging, or give us a reason, okay? I'm not a wireless charging person. Nothing I have has wireless charge. Well, Pixel Buds, the only thing that has wireless charging. I don't really use it. HP gave me a 5-watt charger. It's terrible. I use it every once in a while, but it's really just not that good. It's more of I wish it worked well. The reason I use it, it just doesn't work well. Make this metal. Make it a metal body. I've talked about it before. The hinging needs to lift a little bit because I still can't put a case on it. Okay. Do I have the case in my pocket? No, I set it down somewhere. I still have that case. I set it up to return, then I left it in the car and never returned it. But I don't use the case. Except sometimes I get tired of looking at it like this, and I'll put it on. But obviously I can only use it in book mode if I have the case. And as 100 times I continue to beat a dead horse and say this is how I use the phone. And one of the things I'm most surprised about realistically over the last 90 days is I did go back to my OnePlus, which I'm recording on right now for a short period, but it was for a short period. I went right back to this, and even with the February update issues, I haven't gone back. I think the main reason is I really take advantage of the dual screens. I like laying it like this, all right, having something going on here, having something going on here, especially in the mornings when I first get up. Kids wake me up at 6 o'clock, 5:55 realistically. I'm up, I get situated, and I'm reading about stocks and or just in general reading stuff and sipping my workout drink or my lemon juice or whatever it is, and I'll be sitting here and I'll be doing something on it. Or the other day, I was literally writing on it for my menu for the week. So realistically, if it wasn't for the look and feel and the dual screen, this thing would be gone because the camera is not good. Especially if you saw my last video, the camera just pops in and out like crazy. It ruined my last video. The next time I record on this, which I will because I want to use the 4K 60, and which is how I can do it like this, right? But what's going to happen is I'm going to download a third-party camera app to do the videos anytime I do it on this. Just like I use Gcam on the OnePlus because there's a 5-minute limit on 4K video on it, even though I don't actually even use it because I can't see the screen. But realistically, my biggest thing is Microsoft, that you're really messing this relationship up with your device and the small following you have. And obviously the people sitting out there waiting for the second iteration, because there's a lot of people that want this but just don't want to buy the first version, right? And the reviews aren't looking good, right? If people watch this video and are like, hey, look, it's been regressing since February, why would I buy this? They're not going to look fondly on the Z, and realistically, if they're planning to get a new phone, they're just going to buy something now, like the S21 or other options that are out on the market, instead of waiting for the Z to come out. So you got to start putting some shine on these. Fix the software, get Android 11 out, give these some attention, talk about it, tell us your plans. For God's sake, tell us your plans. What is going on? Tell us what your vision is. That's what my whole last video was about. What is the vision? Where are you going with this? Where are you going with the Surface line? Where are you going as a company? I mean, you are, Microsoft, I don't know what you're doing, but you are going downhill fast. I hope you have some serious plans, because you got two amazing leaders ahead of Xbox, ahead of Surface line, and obviously going into Windows. Two great leaders. Whoever's above them needs to just let them do their job. All right? Don't be like my boss at work, where it's like, you're doing well, but you're not doing what I want you to do, so I'm going to change it even though you're being successful, right? I deal with this on a daily basis. You stop doing it. Let your leaders lead. Give them a vision and let them be successful. Because if you don't, Google, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Samsung, and other companies are just going to run by you. Somebody's going to come up and just kick you in the face, all right? And it's not going to feel good, all right? You're losing market share, hand over foot. Apple's getting your market share because people are buying MacBooks because they like their iPhones, even though MacBooks are not very good, but they're still buying them. All right, obviously, if you look at Apple, your device does not have to be good for people to buy it. It just has to be popular and other people tell them it's good. So if you can get your following to believe in your device, figure it out. Okay, it's bad right now for $2,000. Look at that. Fix it. If you made it to the end, you're amazing. You're wonderful. Thank you for checking me out again. I'm going to have more videos coming out soon. I'm going to be trying to do at least 2 a week, up to 4, depending on what's going on. The closer and closer we get to things opening up and products coming out, I'll be able to have more videos, more news, and I'm really excited to talk about some stuff. Let's talk in the comments. Check out my About page and the description, and make sure you go to the Twitter page and go check out Shane at Scary If Literal. Take care.